Right. All right. Cool. Right. Everything should be working? Hopefully. Right. We're back. Day number 5. A bit later than usual. Hi, Pazio. Yeah, a bit later than usual. Been a busy day. Gearing up for the weekend. So yeah. Let us have a look. Advent of Code, day 5. Streaming live as usual. So far, we have a nice little Christmas tree here. And Rudolph. Still not sure what this is. Maybe we'll get some more information today. We're out here looking for the chief historian. Right. Day 5. Print queue. Satisfied with their search on series, the squadron of scholars suggests subsequently scanning the stationary stacks of sub-basement 17. Interesting choice. Kind of a change in tone here. The North Pole printing department is busier than ever, thus close to Christmas. And while the historians continue their search of this historically significant facility, an elf operating a very familiar printer from 2017, day 1, AoC, beckons you over. The elf must recognize you because they waste no time explaining that the new sleigh launch safety manual updates won't print correctly. Failure to update the safety manuals could be dire indeed, so you offer your services. Safety protocols clearly indicate that new pages for the safety manuals must be printed in a very specific order. The notation X bar Y means that if both page number X and page number Y are to be produced as part of an update, page number X must be printed at some point before page number Y. The elf has for you both the page ordering rules and the pages to produce in each update. Right, all the page ordering rules and a different set of all the pages to produce. Your puzzle input, but can figure out whether each update has the pages in the right order. For example, so in this case, 47 must come at some point before 53. 97 must come before 13 at some point, and so on and so forth. And then this is the list of pages, I guess. Not quite sure what the sort of new lines here are doing. The first section specifies the page ordering rules, 1 per line. The first rule, 4753, means that if an update includes both page number 47 and page number 53, then page number 47 must be printed at some point before page number 53. 47 doesn't necessarily need to be immediately before 53. Other pages are allowed to be between them. The second section specifies the page numbers of each update. Right, so we have multiple updates, right? Because most safety manuals are different, the pages needed in the updates are different too. The first updates, 75, 47, 61, 53, 29, means that the update consists of page numbers, well, these page numbers. To get the printers going as soon as possible, start by identifying which updates are already in the right order. In the above example, the first update is in the right order. So 75 is correctly first because there are rules that put each other page after it. 7547, 7561, 7553, and 7529. 47 is correctly second because 75 must be before it, and every other page must be after it, according to 4761. So on and so forth. Because the first update does not include some page numbers, the ordering rules involving those missing page numbers are ignored. Right, that makes sense. The second and third updates are also in the correct order, according to the rules. Like the first update, they also do not include every page number. And so only some of the ordering rules apply. Within each update, the ordering rules that involve missing page numbers are not used. The fourth update, 75, 97, 47, 61, 53, is not in the correct order. It would print before 75. It would print 75 before 97, which violates the rule 9775. The fifth update, 61, 13, 29, is also not in the correct order, since it breaks the rule 29, 13. The last update is not in the correct order due to breaking several rules. For some reason, the elves also need to know the middle page number of each update being printed. Because you are currently only printing the correctly ordered updates, you will need to find the middle page number of each correctly ordered update. In the above example, the correctly ordered updates are 61, 53, 29. These have middle page numbers of these respectively, and adding these numbers together gives 143. Of course, you'll need to be careful. The actual list of page ordering rules is bigger and more complicated than the above example. Determine which updates are already in the correct order. What do you get if you add up the middle page number from those correctly ordered updates? Right, so how big is this puzzle input? I have something that I want to try just to see if it works. Yeah, so we have a bunch of rules and a bunch of different pages. But let's do what we usually do. Just grab this so we can verify that we get sort of the right ones and the 143 at the end. Not example.nym. Example.text. Plop that in there. So that's our example. And I want to do something interesting. So in nym we have the algorithm module. The algorithm module basically contains just some common generic algorithms. The ones we are interested in is, of course, is sorted in this case. And as you can see, is sorted takes an open array, so a sequence or a string or not an unchecked array, but a slice into some, or a slice into something. And it also takes this compare function, which is a procedure that takes two types, returns an int, and the default here, it doesn't have a default, it just uses a different function, and then sort order ascending. Requires on time, that's fine. And we want to look at system CMP as well, just to see what it does. I've just Googled these before, like I didn't look into this. I know like they just pop up in my history. That's just because I've visited these pages before. So yeah, a value less than 0 if x is smaller than y. And if we are printing in ascending order, which is the default, we can use this to say that, okay, if the number on the left is smaller, then we can return some value less than 0. So yeah, I think that's what we're going to try to do. Just basically create a compare function and just run that on the input for fun. Let's see if it works. So first, of course, we need the algorithms module. I think we're also going to use the hash sets. So yesterday we were using sort of bit sets. Oops. Hash set, come on. I saw it in my history. So yeah, this has hash sets. So we can basically just make a hash set of the rules and then check if we have a rule when we compare. That should work fine. So rules is a hash set of a tuple of a, b, both integers. And then for line in example txt.lines, so for each of these lines, if the line contains a pipe character, then we do so line.split on the pipe character. So here we're using sort of uniform call syntax. We could have done this instead, but just showcasing some stuff here. And then rules include split 0, parse that as an integer, and of course we want a tuple, split 1, the parseInt. So what's going here? We have this rules, which is a hash set of tuples, and then we call include here. And because of this space, like if we did this, this would be a call to include with 2 arguments. This is a call to include with a single tuple as the argument. Might seem a bit confusing. But yeah, if you now echo out all the rules that we have, we can run this. Oh, it's not called. Is it called? I thought it was called algorithms. Yeah, algorithm. Nim has this weird thing where most things. Oh, we also need string utils for split and parseInt. Nim has this weird thing where most modules end with an S, like sets and tables and stuff like that. But not the algorithm module, even though it contains some common generic algorithms. So annoying. I always get this one wrong. Patio Detective over on Patio Detective Watch over on Twitch says it might be cooler to use sugar collect. So the nim sugar module. I think nim is sweet enough as it is most times, but a capture useful when creating a closure in a loop to capture some local loop variables by their current iteration values. What were you thinking we would do with this? We should make a bunch of closures. Oh, collect. Collect, same as collect, but with well, same as collect. What the hell? This collect, I guess. Comprehension for sex sets and tables. The last expression of body. Ooh, so we can collect. We can collect into a new like init hash set. Ah. And this is just without the init parameter, which in them most often you don't need to initialize your containers. They just do that. Like the null state is a valid container, just empty valid container. So we can do this and then I guess just return it. Oh, in a hash set we need to do this. Okay, we can try that. So that would be collect. So we can say let rules. We don't need to give it a type. That's spicy. Let's just keep that. If this doesn't work out, we of course need the sugar module, and then collect, and then run this, and then like this. It doesn't complain. It seems to work. Fine. That's cool. So yeah, benefit, we don't have to specify that rules is a variable, so we can't change it after we've run through the loop. We could have done that, of course, with a block as well, but collect makes it a bit nicer. We don't have to explicitly give it a type, which is kind of cool. We don't have this weird incl space thing, which can be a bit confusing. Yeah, I like it. It's pretty nice. Okay, so now we have all our rules, all of these rules right here. So now we just need to find the other lines. I mean, benefit of doing it the other way, we could have continued doing the loop. So if loop contains a comma, then we do the filtering. But the input isn't that big. Let's just loop through it again. That's fine. If it contains a comma, then this is one of these ones. So we can say that the pages is the line split on the comma and mapped with parseInt. So that should give us just a list of pages. This requires the secutils module for the map function. If we now run this, we have our rules and we have our sets or sequences of pages, which is very nice. And now we can write our compare function. So if we go in here, we can find, well, we're writing this compare function basically. So compare between two tuples, between two values, and return an integer. So we want AB integers, return an integer. I guess we're now overloading integers. The comparison for integers, which in our case is fine. But let's just be a bit nicer about this if we want to reuse this somewhere else. Type page is a distinct int, not even distinct, just an int. And then just convert this into pages. Let's do map it, because then we can do this. We can create a more complex statement. The map by default just takes a procedure, map it, you can write basically just any arbitrary statement and use it for the variable, which is pretty nice. Oh, and this should now, of course, be compared to pages. Just discard that for now. Just make sure that our refactor works. It works fine. They're still integers, so that's fine. Python Detective says, now that you say so, it seems that it'd be better to not use collect this time. One should wait until the end to try to prettify one's code. Well, yes and no. If you wait until the end to prettify your code, oftentimes something else more interesting or appealing or important maybe comes up. And you end up with just having a bunch of old, ugly legacy code. I mean, we could have done this differently. We can, of course, say like else break. We could loop through lines in a different way that allows us to start from a specific point in this loop. Could have done a bunch of different things. But in this case, speed shouldn't be much of an issue. So our rule is that if where are the rules? Yeah, the notation xy means that if both page number x and page number y are produced as a part of a page, page number x must be printed at some point before page number y. So, and we're printing ascending, so that means that x is smaller than y. So if the rules, do we have contains? Contains for hash set, yeah. Contains the rule a, b. So if a, like if we have a rule a, b, then a is the smaller number. And the smaller number means that the value should be less than 0. So -1. If we have a rule b, a, then we return 1. Otherwise, I guess return a 0, which means they're equal, which the rules here aren't quite a sort, so I'm not sure if this will work, but I wanted to try it for fun. So yeah, if we now do is sorted with oh, I guess we should give it a better name. Like so. Also print out the actual pages so we can see them. So yeah, this is sorted, this is sorted, this is sorted, and the 3 last ones aren't. If you look at this, in the above example, the first one is in the right order, the second and third are also in the correct order, the fourth, fifth, and the last one is not in the correct order. So this is actually correct, for now anyways. So let's do the sum is 0, and now just do this. If the pages are sorted, then the sum is equal to the middle page. So that would be pages, in this case pages, so here we have 5 pages. We want to pick the middle one, so that is divided by 2 rounded up. But if we have 4 pages, that would be 2 rounded up, should still be 2. So we need to convert this to a float, divide by 2, and use the ceil function. Convert that to an int to use it as an index. Need the math module. Oh, right. Oh, pages dot length, I guess. Yeah. Could maybe do, if we did pages dot high, so this is the 4th index, and then div by 2, that's 2. And if we have 4, then this is 0, 1, 2, 3. Div, that's a 1. Oh yeah, but it's middle pages. So we shouldn't have anyone that are even numbers, because it wouldn't have a middle. Oh, okay. Well, that simplifies things. Pages dot high, div 2. So div is integer division, which just I think it doesn't do any rounding. I think it just chucks the end. Length plus 1 divided by 2. This would be 5, 6 divided by 2 is 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. That would be this number. So length minus 1, 4 divided by 2, 0, 1, 2. And that's what high is. This should be right. 148. 143 maybe? Yeah. I just misremembered. Okay. Let's try this out on our, why won't you, don't select anything. There we go. Save this, input.txt. And let's try to run this on the actual input. Now, there's no guarantee that this is actually sort of a generalizable. It's not the right answer. Answer is too low. Answer is too low. So either this doesn't work, like using is sorted and page compare, or this is just wrong. Does this fail for like larger numbers? How many is this? Well, let's take a slightly smaller one. 6, that's 7. So this is the index is 6, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. That works. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 10, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, that's the middle number. As long as div does what I think it does. And just ignores. Well, pages that high should always be an even number. Yeah. So that should always be right. All of these are suspiciously short. Oh. maybe we should look at our input in both cases. That sounds more like the right number. I thought it was a bit small. It seemed a bit suspiciously small. Yeah, that's the right answer. 1 gold star closer to finding the chief historian. Fun. So that actually worked. That's cool. Since we're using the is sorted function, I don't know how that's implemented. I don't know how that works. So I don't know, like, when you give it sort of weird rules, does it break or does it still work? And at least in this case, it seems to have still worked. Now the big question is, what is part 2? Is part 2 something completely different and horrible and we have to rewrite everything? Or if it's just sort all of them and we can just use the sort function. While the elves get to work printing the correctly ordered updates, you have a little time to fix the rest of them. For each of the incorrectly ordered updates, use the page ordering rules to put the page numbers in the right order. For the above examples, here are the 3 incorrectly ordered updates and their correct orderings. After taking only the incorrectly ordered updates and ordering them correctly, their middle page numbers are 47, 29, and 47 again. Adding these together produce 123. Okay, so luckily for us, that's sort of a small transition. We should be able to just say, if they aren't sorted, let sorted be pages.sort using page compare, and then grab the numbers from sorted. Sorted.high, the length of those should be the same. And if the sorting algorithm doesn't break in weird ways with weird compare functions, right, sort is inline. There is one which isn't, right? Sorted. So sorts inline, doesn't return anything. Sorted returns a sorted sequence. And I want this one, mostly because I want to print out pages and sort of what it becomes, because I want to verify that the results are correct. 123, that certainly sounds correct. Looking at this, we should get 9, 7, 7, 5, 47, 61, 53, 6, 1, 2, 9, 13. Yes, 9, 7, 7, 5, 4, 7, 29. Yes, okay. So this sorts exactly like we wanted. We should now be able to just pop our inputs in here, and don't forget, pop our input in there, and we should now be getting a new number, and this should be the correct answer. That's the right answer. Wow, you're 1 gold star closer to finding the chief historian. I am very relieved that worked, because that was the idea I had. And I wasn't really in the mood to write sorting algorithms. But yeah, so actually pretty nifty little solution here using a collect, thanks to Patio Detective. I don't use the sugars module a lot. I probably should use it more. It's so the sugar module is basically just, well, syntactic sugar. Basically macros and other nifty features that that easily sort of, or just makes some things easier, nicer. I guess what would happen? No, we couldn't. We couldn't have done it here, could we? Collect into an int? I don't think you can. Maybe we can. But yeah, so using the sorting functions and the algorithm module, pretty nifty. Basically we could have done this. So I'm parsing these out as integers, and then parsing these out as integers, and then running contains with a tuple. We could have done this purely with strings. Actually, let's do a little, since I solved this one so fast. Let's do part 2, compile that in release mode, then run that. Oh wow, okay, it's kind of too fast. Oh, what's that benchmarking? You have like benchy? No, bench. There is a benchmark where it runs the thing multiple times, and is that a nim tool or is it a general tool? No, not memory. Multiple runs. Come on. Not multiple run times. I have, at some point I set Brave as my default browser. I think I'm gonna change back because it's just not as good. Spew benchmark test. That's well, that was annoying. I know there's a tool, I just can't remember the name. Anyone in the comments? Hyperfine. Thank you. So, Johannes Martinsson over at YouTube. Hyperfine is the one I wanted. Yes. And I currently don't have that installed, but that's an easy fix. I will never, like, after having used Linux for such a long time, I tried to update my machine overnight, and when I got back, my machine was in a weird state. Oh. There we go. So I had to reboot the machine. That's why that lock file is there. Don't randomly delete log files unless you know what you're doing. Hyperfine. Slash part 2. So yeah. Right, yeah. That's fine. I guess we could do something like just like run this. Oops. That was the wrong way. Run it 100 times. Just no. Run the last name command. There we go. And then run the last hyperfine command. Now it takes a little bit longer, so we actually get some maybe some better results or more even results. So what I want to do here, I basically like don't do the split. Just add the line in there. And then for page, we would still need to grab this, but page could now be a string. We can just split. We don't need to do the int parsing. And then we can run is sorted with this. And now we can say, sort of just build the string. I had this idea when I was reading the text, and I just have this feeling this will be slower because we're doing like string concatenation, and basically just strings are longer objects, and we like create a bunch of small objects. Creating a bunch of small objects, and yeah. Oh, I guess we might be just testing the speed of that echo. Yeah, I think we might. If I remove this echo, how long is this going to take? Oh. Oh. About the same time. Huh. So, actually, the string version, unless I've done something wrong, 124, 127, just ever so slightly slower. I thought the difference would be more than that. I really would. I really did. Huh, interesting. Okay. I still like the int version better. Spending a little bit more time parsing it to integers, but then sort of having faster page compares because it's easier to hash two integers than a string. Yeah. I was surprised that was as close as it was. Yeah, this is with a single run. Well, let's actually try just do the whole thing with the strings again. Do that and then remove this. I'm just curious. Yeah. Like it's barely 1.8, 1.9. Super interesting. Huh, I think anyways. Maybe you don't. Super interesting for the right kind of, or for some people. Right. But yeah, that was our day here. That was pretty quick. So we have the because we call it this, not the stem, the trunk of the Christmas tree. And then you have Rudolph peeking out of some green stuff. Not quite sure what's going on there. And this is still this cryptic thing that I can't quite figure out what it is. This is strange looking. I still kind of think like sand, trees and waters, or like an oasis kind of thing. But then this kind of looks like swampy, marshy area, very close to a desert. I don't know. And what's going on with these like straight lines? Very strange. I guess we'll see in due time what this will end up looking. All right, you had to go and missed most of it. Well, you can always watch the recording over on YouTube. And of course, all the code for this, if you just want to like look at my solutions, I think it's more interesting to sort of look at solving them and like the process of solving them and all of that. I apparently forgot to push day 2 and 4. I'll get all of them pushed. But yeah, here you also have the playlist of the recorded streams, and I just realized that I've only added one video there. So I'll add the other videos as well, so you can easily find them. And yeah, Advents of Code's website, so good. I guess like this subtle shine that it has everywhere might be a bit hard for some people to read, but I just really like it. Like, it's old school. It's cool looking. But yeah, that was day 5. Pretty easy stuff. Hope you enjoyed, and I hope you'll. Yeah, it feels like Vim. Yeah, it kind of does. Oh, maybe we should have a like this. This was a theme. It's a Dracula theme, I think, which I downloaded for a talk I did on Futhark, which is not like it's the same colors, but the highlighter works a bit differently than what's here. But the idea was to have sort of a official looking color scheme for my talk, and I think it looks pretty good. I like it. Colors are nice, muted. I guess the background could have been a bit darker, but yeah, I could have gone this color instead of this color. I guess it's somewhere in between. But yeah, maybe we should have an Advent of Code Vim theme. Do you know of any terminal emulator that can do highlight like bold by sort of this glow effect? That'd be cool. I wrote a patch to Vim at some point to be able to syntax highlight with different fonts. Oh yeah, this is Kitty as well. Terminal here. So yeah, I wrote a patch to Vim so that you could do syntax highlighting based on fonts and not based on fonts and not colors. Uses like the ANSI escape code. So the ANSI escape code has some where are they? Yeah, colors, and then they also have some for fonts. Come on. Yeah, here we go. The primary font, and then alternative fonts, and also for some weird reason like a Fraktur font. So basically I made it possible in Vim that you could highlight using these instead of the SGR color codes. So you could technically have highlighting based on a font. I wrote this when Mona Space came out. The idea being like you have fonts that are sort of similar. They feel the same, but they look different. And the idea was that you could mix and match. What if? So you could have different parts, like doc strings could be tentative IDs could look handwritten, doc strings look authoritative. Maybe like if you had Copilot or some other like thing, it could look different. I just kind of like the idea, and I figured I want to try it. And then I realized that Vim didn't have support for it, or rather, I realized, oh yeah, this is in mainline Vim. I got this pull request. Let's see, author me when closed. It was closed and not merged, but he merged the thing, but then didn't. Yeah, for some complicated reasons, it was closed, but the changes are actually merged. So you can do Vim with color highlighting. I'm not sure if it's a Neo Vim yet. I guess they want to have feature parity. I don't think this is a feature that's high priority. But my problem is that Kitty doesn't support this. And actually, I opened an issue in Kitty, and he said, well, no tools support it. So why should we support it? So that's why I added it to Vim, hoping that he would add it to Kitty, but he never did. And now it's like, oh yeah, if you make a pull request, I'll merge it. I just haven't had the time. And yeah, I have a project lying around here somewhere making an e-paper laptop. And of course, that's monochrome, like a monochrome screen. And having highlighting with fonts on that thing would be really cool. So I will probably do it at some point, but and there are terminals that do support this, which is what I used when I was testing this for Vim. So it is possible to do at the moment, but I would hope that support lands for this in Kitty, and then we can have cool parsing or cool highlighting with colors. And the dumb part is that Kitty, you can set a different font for bold and italics. So I have actually tried setting my bold and italics fonts to different fonts, and then telling Vim to highlight certain things with bold and italics, and that works. Like Kitty is capable of switching font mid-render. It just doesn't support the ANSI escape codes for changing font. So it should be a small change. It should be really easy to add. Yeah. I mean, to be fair to the guy, he told me that if I implement it, then he would merge the pull request, which is completely fair. I'm probably one of like 5 people who wants this feature. So yeah, taking up his time to do it. I thought that maybe he would think it was cool and would be one of the 5. But yeah, I guess that's it for me for today. Seems to be no more comments from YouTube. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you'll be back again tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday. I should have time to do a stream on Friday. I'm not certain about Saturday because we have a thing at our house on Saturday. So we might need to do like a dual one on Sunday, or I might do one sort of earlier or later than usual. So yeah. But now you know, I'll try to do one tomorrow at about the same time. And yeah, see you around.